Hey guys, it's Jay, and for Easter we're going to be talking about the resurrection. So stay tuned. What Christians ought to know is coming your way next.
Try this one. Watch it.
Hey guys, it's Jay. I'm back. Thank you so much for being patient with me for these Christian ought to know videos with my back while I was healing up. And I wanted to wait a couple extra days until Easter because I was asked a really good question while I was recovering. And the question was, did Christ physically rise from the grave or spiritually rise from the grave? Now, to answer this question, I'm going to say that Christ physically rose from the grave. This is based off of the evidence in the Bible that shows Christ physically rose. The evidence is when the ladies returned to finish preparing Jesus' body for burial. During the crucifixion, when Nicodemus took the body of Christ off the cross, they weren't able to properly get it ready for burial. They had to hastily prepare him for burial because the Sabbath of the lamb, the Sabbath meal was coming up. So they were talking about the Sabbath. This is the Passover meal. So they had to hastily take Christ's body off the cross and hastily prepare it for burial. The Romans knew that they had to come back and finish preparing it for burial. That's why there was guards on the tomb. People knew they were coming back to finish preparing the body for burial. Now, when they arrived at the tomb, the boulder was cast aside. The guards were gone. The ladies walked into the tomb. They saw nothing in there but thrown shrouds. The ladies ran back, saw the men disciples coming, told John and the other disciples that, hey, something's not right. Christ's body's not in the tomb. And the men ran to the tomb. The man walked into the tomb and saw that the tomb was empty. The death shrouds were tossed aside except for the head shroud, which was folded up neatly and placed where his body lied. Later on, Mary Magdalene falls to her knees to who she thinks is the gardener and pleads, "Where is Christ's body?" When Christ physically tells her, "Mary, it's me. But do not touch me, for I have not yet gone to the Father." So this is showing a physical touch. Do not physically touch me, for I am going to the Father. So physically, his body's not in the tomb. Physically, he tells Mary not to touch him. Later on, when they are in the upper room, Christ physically shows him his wounds, physically lets them touch him. And then later on to Thomas, who doubted and had to physically touch his hands and physically put his hand where the spear touched. So then the ascension was Christ physically on the beach. He physically cooked the disciples' meal and he physically ascended into heaven. So yes, viewers, you can rest assured that you today serve a living God who's living in heaven, who is part of the Trinity in a way that I cannot explain in a short video. But trust me, folks, Christ is alive, and he's going to come again. Are you prepared? I'm Jay, and this is what Christians ought to know.